What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another trade recap video. So much value to be learned from today. Today is Friday, the 30th of January, 2026. I took a loss today. I lost just less than $400 today across my funded accounts. And that concludes the month of January. Quick fact for everyone watching the pockets. This is my first red month since last March, I believe. Either March or April, which sucks. But I'm going to go over today's trade. I have no regrets for today's trade taken. It was A+, perfect setup. So much to learn from this week and this month. And definitely great for learning to deal with losses as well for anybody who has been trading the sort of ICT, SMC concepts, because you will have most likely had a pretty tough January. So coming into the market today. So the 4-hour was telling us that we were currently in between two strong fair value gaps. So we just bounced out of this one with a huge wick. Huge wick stab through this fair value gap. And of course, we were also respecting this fair value gap currently. So we're between these two key levels on the 4-hour. So pretty 50-50 on the 4-hour. And then if I go down to the 1-hour, as you can see right here, coming into market open, we were respecting this hourly and also respecting this hourly. However, I was not too bothered about the fact that we were respecting this fair value gap here, because if we come down to the 1 minute time frame, I know we've just jumped time frames very, very quickly there, but if we come down to the 1 minute time frame, if you can look here at 8:30, we put in a data low. So red folder news, super strong draw on liquidity down here that we put in of a data low. So that was my draw on liquidity for the session. I liked how we were delivering out of this hourly above. And if we just continue cycling down the time frame, sort of, it's the same concept with the 15. We're delivering from these gaps here to the left, as you can see. And we also have a nice delivery. We also got a manipulation leg on this high. So yeah, we just continue cycling through the time frames. And it basically tells us the same story. We have a strong data low below. We're delivering from an hourly fair value gap above. So I was leaning bearish coming into market open. So when market opened, I called out on my live stream. Obviously, if you want to get involved in the Discord, trade live with me every single day. Be the top link in the description. I was wanting a Judas swing up to potentially manipulate above this high. And then I was looking for a short to target the data lows down here. So that's what I wanted. And as you can see here, this, if I just draw it out real quick, this is where market open was. So 9:30 was here. And you can see we got that perfectly. So obviously there's no 1 minute and there's also nothing on the higher time frame either. However, if we go on to the 30-second, and for all of the 30-second haters, there is nothing wrong with trading the 30-second time frame. We are trading liquidity, not inversion fair value gaps. So we had this high time frame delivery already. We're delivering from a 1 hour because we've just swept liquidity inside of that 1 hour gap. We then left ourselves a super obvious bullish fair value gap, which turned into an inverse fair value gap when we inversed, when we obviously closed below. So the trade I took today, I entered on this candle close. Super strong momentum, as you can see, two really strong candles. We had this first candle, super def candle, a strong wick at the top, and then a perfect body close below this 30-second, giving me really good risk to reward to the data low. So as you can see right here, it would have been take profit at the data lows, full TP. When we've got a strong draw on liquidity like that, I would not scale any profits. And I risked for 50 points, so I had a hard stop just above the inversion, which was there. So it would have been a 1.6 risk to reward that I was targeting. And I would have moved my stop loss to break even if we did sweep out this internal low. Unfortunately, as you can see, we manipulated about a bit, remanipulated above the high. We got an SMT here, so we also remanipulated above the high again on ES. And then we came above the high again before finally coming down and hitting the data low. So really scruffy price action today. Not what you want to see. Certainly 8 or 9 times out of 10 in back testing, I've seen these setups play out. This would have played out to the data low without a doubt with this momentum. Today just happens to be that 10 or 20% of the time where it doesn't happen, which I'm absolutely fine about. And you have to get that type of mentality when you're trading. You cannot look at the outcome all the time. As long as you are putting in the A+ setup, entering and executing perfectly, that's all you can do. On days like today, you just got to take the red day and step away. Of course, I could have stayed at the charts. I could have tried taking some more shorts. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. I took the first trade I saw, one trade and done. And that is what I would recommend to a lot of, especially newer traders out there, but genuinely anyone, especially if you're struggling with emotions. Take your one setup and then get off. If it wins or loses, get off. If it's a break even and you see something else, have another go. But take your one setup and get off. That way none of your trades are taken based off of emotions. Because if you take this loss and you're not super experienced, or you've not got insane emotional stability, you're going to get on tilt after taking this loss. And you're probably going to force something else. And then if you take another loss, you're not going to want to stop, and it just spirals. So one trade a day. And if you can stick to those rules and remain disciplined, you're still allowing your edge to play out just over a bit of a longer period of time. And in terms of anything else today, nothing else really interested me too much. Yeah, we just failed to hit these data lows, quite simply, for a long time, until we eventually swept them and then continued lower. So I had the right draw on liquidity, the right bias going into the day. Unfortunately, my setup did not play out. So that is going to be it for this trade recap. Of course, like I said, to trade live with me every day, join the free community anyway. Click the link in the description to join the Discord. And also, if you want any discounts to Alpha Futures, FX Replay, all the discounts and links are in the description. I'll see you guys. Any questions in the comments, type it in the comments or message me on Discord in the server or privately. And I'll get back to you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week for a brand new week of trading.